Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Ask Leah. This week's question is a tricky one. It came from someone who has a new boss and they really don't get along with this boss. This person's in leadership themselves, and the new boss has a very different style, very different values to them. They're not aligned at all. And they've been in the role for about 6 months or so now, the new boss. And this person said to me, Leah, I don't know that I can work for this person. I love my job, but I'm really clashing with this boss. What should I do? Do I stay? Do I go? What do I do? Now, I had a really interesting conversation with this person, and I want to just share where we got to in the end. And that was this. We work with different people and people we don't like all the time. It's part of life. It's something I'm really passionate about instilling in my children. Sometimes we don't like all of our teachers. That doesn't mean we just pack up our bat and ball and change schools every time that happens. Learning how to work with and for people who are different to us or who might have a different style to us is actually a basic life skill. However, in this case, what I suggested the person needed to do was make a conscious decision after reflection on, could they find a way to work with this person? There was a values misalignment, sure, but they do love their job. Could they find a way to work for this person? And if they decided to stay or if they decided to go, it had to be an intentional decision. Because at the moment, they're just sort of sitting in limbo land, and the comfort zone is just kind of going, oh, well, this is what I know. And the risk there is if you just stay in this is what I know and don't make it an intentional decision, you can get resentful, you can get bitter, you can get frustrated and start behaving in ways that aren't true to who you want to be. So my challenge to this person was to make a decision either way, to stay or to go. And if it was to stay, it had to be a conscious, intentional decision. And that's actually what this person decided to do. I am making a conscious decision that I am going to stay. I'm going to be professional with my boss. I'm going to work with them as well as I can. And what else this person is going to do, or has done by now, is to redo their own personal values and get super clear on the sort of leader they want to be. Because they don't want to go down the rabbit hole of behaving poorly because they're getting sucked into behavior that they don't like in their boss. So to get really clear on the sort of leader they want to be and to live true to that, regardless of what is going on around them, and almost see it as not giving their power away, doing their job really well, working well with this person, but very much staying true to them. What this does is it helps ensure that their decision to stay is an empowered one. That, yep, the behaviour here is not great, but they are making an empowered choice to stay and behave in a manner that is true to them. The final piece and the final tool that I gave this leader to work with was the good old circles of influence by Stephen Covey. What can I control? What can I influence? What do I need to let go of? So this person is controlling their own behaviour. They're going to influence their boss when they can. They will have the challenging conversations with respect. They will influence outcomes to the best of their ability. But once they have done that, the boss may override them on decisions. And they won't like it, but that's when it gets pushed out to their circle of concern, and that's where they have to let it go. They have made a conscious decision to stay. The boss will make decisions that they don't like. They will control and influence what they can. They will let the rest go, and they will continue to do a great job. So I want you to reflect on that. Maybe you're at that decision point in your job or career. As we end the year, we often start reflecting, are we where we want to be? It doesn't mean that if you don't like some of the people you work with, you have to leave. It also doesn't mean you have to stay, but it has to be a conscious decision. I only have one episode of Ask Leah left for the year. If you would like your question answered, send it through and I will do my best to answer it next week. Otherwise, I will be back late January. So send them through and I'll answer it then. Cheers.